Okay, welcome to a tribute for the mighty Deathstar. This location is now blocked, as you can see from this photo. This is one of my proudest finds. Other than drains, I never really found heaps of locations. I never found Dreadnought. That was found by Pink of the New School CaveClan. Deathstar is probably one of my best finds. I used to ride past it on my bushy as a kid. And when the CaveClan started venturing into other things other than drains, I think we got into bridge rooms next, and then we started looking at cavities and things like that. So I've re-recorded this audio later because, well, when I last did Deathstar, I didn't realise that it was going to be my last visit, that they were going to Fort Knox it. Yeah, so I used to ride past it. It was just this thing sticking out of the ground, and I'd already started finding lots of things sticking out of the ground. By this stage, I'd lifted hundreds of manholes, and 99% of them lead to a tap, a valve, a little pit, which is all part of the fun. The strikeouts make the successful manhole lifts all the more rewarding. So we eventually went in. For those that haven't done it before, it's a pipe sticking up out of the ground with a grill on it. It's quite big, 2.5 meters diameter or something like that. Once you get the grill open, so how you used to do it, they had it padlocked, but you used to be able to just, with a shifter, take off a couple of nuts of, not the hatch, because it was a circle. They'd have this triangular bit. You could just unbolt and slide in across to the ladder. So we could always get in. When you get in, there's a shaft, which you climb down, then you're standing at the bottom of the shaft. So even at this stage of our experience, we weren't very excited. So we've climbed down the shaft, and down below you can see what looks like a dirty sewer, which there's no way of getting down to it. And we're sort of thinking, oh, well, we found what it is. It's not much, but, So we sort of have a look around. We make our first mistake. We do graffiti in there, probably thinking that we're not going to come back because it's not that exciting. Even though we could get rope and climb down into the sewer, it was like a CaveClan thing. We don't do sewers. It wasn't until the Pooh Man from Sid Clan Silage came along and Prowler, those guys sort of changed that a bit. There was 2 metal doors, which, in my head, behind that door, I could already see there was going to be 8 valves that they used to release the whatever into the sewer thing to clean the sewer, whatever the point of the whole thing was that I had no idea about. And as usual, I had a shitty $2 shop torch. So anyway, I opened the doors before we left, and when I opened them, it was just dark. And I shone my torch in. I thought, there's not valves or taps or wall or whatever. And I took a step in, and because the torch was so shit, the darkness just absorbed it. Have you been here before?
No, never.
So it's pretty cool. You go through where you can see.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I said something like, hang on. And when I said hang on, it echoed out into the Deathstar, the main chamber. So I kind of explain it to people that haven't been in. It's kind of like we're in a washing machine. If you imagine, the lid of the washing machine was shut, but we've popped a grill that let us get into the agitator. We've walked halfway down the agitator, and then there's a double doors that open out into the basin of the washing machine, and there's a ladder going down. So we were like, holy shit, whooping and squealing like children, probably because we were. As you can see from the photos now and probably the video, it's a pretty amazing place. So it became such a big part of the CaveClan. We had so many expos there and people. Like, I just loved doing this kind of thing where, because there wasn't the internet around, until the photos got in Il Drono, no one really knew what it was. So I was taking as many groups of people there as I could, and I'd basically make out like, we're going to do Glass Creek, or we're going to do something else nearby. We'd climb down, we'd get into the first level, and I'd stand in front of the doors and I'd sort of show everyone. I was like, oh yeah, there's a sewer down there, and blah, blah, blah. Show them what little there is there. And people would be pretty much like, this isn't that good. I was like, yeah, but it's still pretty good. and then after we're like, oh, well, we might as well go. Sometimes people would say, oh, what's in there? And I'd just say, oh, just taps and that. But as we're about to leave, I'd say, oh, you can have a look in and open it up. And yeah, it was just cool watching people walk through, and then just as they'd walk through and start to realise, they'd be like, fuck. And then the next person, what? Fuck. And then the next person, what, fuck. Cool. And then we'd say, don't tell anyone, keep it a secret, so we could roll them all. I won't go on too much more. Like it's basically used for when a sewer overflows or collapses or gets blocked or whatever. It flows into there. It fills up with water, and they put whatever. Ask ISO, probably, what do you call it? What they put in swimming pools and that. It fills up and it flows over into another cavity called hidden egos, which is just no point doing. You can't get into Deathstar from it. It's just a pipe, and it's really dangerous. Like it's deadly dangerous. I shouldn't have even probably mentioned it. What? I can't hear you. Another story that I tell a bit about it, which I'll tell the real short version, was when we got down to the grill, and you can get down into the sewer. It's quite easily done. Knightstalker was standing on the grill on the first level, and we were down the bottom, and he was going to take a photo of us, but the grill was getting in the way. So, Knightstalker was fairly new and was trying to impress. He said, I'll move the grill. And I was like, only move it if you can. It was a big ass grill. I'll leave the audio in. There's a little bit of video where I talk about it briefly. Anyway, he lifted the grill up, and me, Critt, Yogi, I think it was, or Gobledox, one of the other Triple J guys. So there's 3 of us down there, I think. And anyway, Knightstalker started sliding the grill off, and we're standing underneath it. And it slipped, but luckily it did a little flip, so it hit the edge, and the back hit the edge, and then it flipped and fell down. But just that flick, the noise, and it taking a little bit longer. I don't mean this like a hero, but I just pushed the guys out of the way, and it hit me in my childbearing hip. I got a bit of a graze in it. Luckily it hit me flush and not a sharp edge, and you can see the dent in it. But I was pretty pissed off, when I got out. People were all over the Deathstar, and all I could hear was a loud bang and me screaming. And then for the next few minutes as we climbed out, I'm sort of climbing out one-handed, just swearing at Knightstalker. But it was here not long after.
Skywalker of the CaveClan. Oh.
Yeah, that's probably when he nearly killed us. No. That's the dent when Knightstalker dropped the grill and nearly killed us. I know I can't go on too long with this because I just don't have we very rarely filmed in there, and it's a pretty hard place to film. And as you can see by the photos and the people doing the fire burning, they really got into it. Thanks a lot to the people that submitted the photos, like Roscoe Jr. and I think Senile chucked one in, and I know I'm going to forget people. Thanks to Higher Perspective Photography for all his cool photos. I'll just leave it at that. Deathstar, awesome location. I've been racking my brains, and I apologise. I heard recently someone said to me, I was with you when we first did Deathstar, and I've been contacting the people that I thought it might have been. I thought it was Prowler, I thought it might have been Wes, I thought it might have been Misfit, but he was a bit later. Yeah, so sorry I forget who it is. I'll try and, if I find out in the meantime, I'll add it. This video is kind of rubbing it in your face if you can't do it. At least you can see what it was like. And I know, look, there's heaps of photos out there, great photos out there. This is just me telling you the story about how I found it, why we liked it so much. All right. Thanks for watching. And yeah, we had a rave there too. See ya.